All right, Mario. So let's get into the match that we really wanted to talk about. That first leg in the Champions League, after getting blown out in our house in San Siro, wanting to go in there and get a result at a minimum. For us to get a result, what do you think Spalletti is going to do? How is he going to approach this game from the blow the whistle?
I'm torn between two things. Either they come out guns blazing, super fast paced, aggressive football, or they play more of a defensive minded, possessive kind of thing. Personally, I don't know how they perform doing either or right now, just because of how they did against Milan. It's a 4-0 loss. It's not them, right? So the last time that we played Milan, we played more of a defensive, possessive kind of game style, and we did end up winning 2-1 without Osimhen. But I think we can get away with playing the other way around, more aggressive, more fast-paced with Osimhen at the top. So I'm praying he can hopefully be there for this Milan game. That is so important. We have not seen him twice now against Milan. And in my opinion, I think he's going to be the biggest key factor against Milan these next two games, like for real. Because without him there, we haven't looked the same, and we have looked really good without him against other teams. But for some reason, against Milan, just has not been it.
Man, I don't know. So here's the thing, right? If Spalletti has the approach of let's possess the ball, let's try to not give them too many opportunities, and in a way, let's make sure that we leave with the result, right? If that's his approach, in a way, you can't argue with that because
No,
you if you do go the super aggressive route and they make a mistake, just like we talked about them making a mistake in this match that just got blown out, right? And Leao gets a
nice
fast
little
break goal
counter.
again. That would be so we said it would be nightmare in the Maradona. If Leao gets a fast break goal at the San Siro, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So
Yeah.
if he has the approach, I've never liked the approach of let's sit back, let's possess the ball, let's not make mistakes, let's keep them from having, the easy counter because we're not trying to do too much, right? I've never liked that. And even this Napoli team is the last team that you would want them to do that with. But if there was a match for Spalletti to do that, I think this might be the match. Now, you said we didn't have Victor in these last two
Yeah,
matches with
that's
Milan,
huge
and
difference.
that makes a big difference. But what they could focus on is trying to hit Victor more on the long ball because if you do that and you mess that up, that's a long way back for them on a counter. But if
Right.
you mess up in the midfield like they did over and over again at the Maradona, we could be we could be in big trouble.
Yeah, Milan has
So
too much star power on the edges and in the middle in that area to push the ball up so quickly and swiftly. It's just too easy for him to allow that to happen. Not against Milan, we can't.
I do think with Oliveira being available for this match, which he definitely should be, I hope he starts because he is a player that can get back and recover and use his body if he needs to. He's a much better defender than Mario Rui is overall, right? So that might be one thing that makes Spalletti feel a little bit more comfortable with being aggressive. But man, it ain't gonna take just Oliveira, man. If they're aggressive and they make a mistake, we need to see something similar that we've seen the rest of the year, where five players are running back super fast to make sure that they get up there to defend the players on the counter. And
Yep.
we didn't see that versus Milan, right? I mean, I didn't notice it. Did you notice that
No.
that they were making that effort? Maybe that I don't know. I didn't notice it. Did you?
No, I didn't see no effort at all. Not from what we're used to, no.
Hmm. Victor's going to want to play aggressive. Victor's going to want them to feed the ball to him. He's going to want them to be pressing. He's going to want that. There's no way that he's going to be happy with them playing a ball possessive, safe game. You know what I mean? And if Lozano's starting, you've got another weapon where if they are playing aggressive and he can get the ball up near the line, the touch line, and get it crossed that back over to Ozzy, man. I mean, you're right, man. It's a hard decision to make for Spalletti in this game because either way could backfire. Like if they play a super possessive game and Milan just takes that and then they get one goal and that ends up being the result. We need to leave San Siro with at least a tie. We
At
cannot
least yeah, we
lose.
can't lose. Mm-mm.
Yeah. What do you think about Milan and how they're going to approach the game? Do you think that they're going to come out super aggressive like they did in this game at the Maradona, or do you think that they're going to chill a little bit because Victor's up
Being
there?
being at home, yeah, I think that they play the same, especially yeah. I think they can get away with trying that for sure.
If they're double teaming on defense, they're not going to be able to double team and triple team
Well,
Cavada
defensively,
whenever they
I don't
want,
know
right?
if they try to play the same. No, because it'll be completely different. Worrying about the beast that Osimhen is up top. All due respect, Simeone is a great striker, but we're talking about talent here. I mean, Osimhen just provides so much more, and we all know that. Milan knows that. That's why they were allowing the double team with Cavada, but it ain't gonna happen this game. If Osimhen is there, let me tell y'all, man, it will not be the same for y'all. I'm just letting you know that right now.
And before this year, so he had the game-winning goal against Roma. He had a great game versus Juve. He wasn't there for both Milan games.
Right?
Um, was he there for both or for the first Inter game? I can't remember right now. Was he there?
Yeah, we lost 1-0.
Was he there for the road game right after the break? Victor was there for that
Yep,
game?
yep, yep, yep.
He was? Okay. So, I mean, he's had games against big matches where he's been able to get his goals, and that was something that he was criticized over, right? So I think he's over that hump, and I think he's going to want to continue to do that. So he's going to want to have a good game. He's going to want to score a goal or
Yeah,
two.
the players that are going to be most motivated, I feel like, are going to be Osimhen, Kim, and probably Lobotka from the midfield, just to redeem themselves, really, because those are our 3-star players. And Osimhen, he knew he couldn't be there for them. Kim knew he had a
Yeah.
terrible game, and Lobotka knew he also had a terrible game. And it's just not how they play. Yeah, like we can afford like sometimes for I don't know, really to have a bad game every now and then, or like even I'm Geese not have like a great game, but whenever it comes
Or
down to
Zelensky.
Lobotka struggling,
Yeah.
or even Zielinski, correct.
Yeah.
When it comes down to
Yeah.
Lobotka, the heart of our midfield, and Kim, the center of our defense, Osimhen,
Yeah. Yeah.
our main goal scorer, yeah, we're missing key players basically. Like you might as well not even be there. So Milan took advantage. They did. So this next
You're,
round, things are going to be a
yeah.
lot different.
You're absolutely right. Those three players, Kim, the Boko, and Victor, they have to have one of their best games of the season to leave Milan with the result. Not just, not a win. I mean, they have to have a great game just to come out of there with the tie, I think. And I think they will. I
Yeah.
think that Kim has the character where he is going to mentally recover from that terrible game. I think Lobotka is going to have a little bit more space to operate because the midfield is always going to be wondering, oh man, if he beats us, then Victor could be open, and so
Right.
they might not be quite as aggressive in the midfield.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I think Victor's going to have a great game. There's no reason why I don't see Victor having a great game. That doesn't mean he needs to score even. He
Right
just
now,
needs to make those
you
those
said
those
create.
impactful plays.
Yeah.
Yes, where it opens up the field and other people are open because they're trying to keep him from. So
He does
yeah,
not need the ball to create. He creates space just by being out there, just by
yes,
taking
yeah, he
space.
does.
You know
Just
what I
his
mean?
threat makes it easier on everybody else
His
around him.
presence.
Absolutely.
He's got like a big old bubble around him.
So this has got to be a hard match to predict, though, huh? Just because we don't even know how
Very.
Spalletti's going to approach it, and
What do you think is gonna happen?
what,
What's the score?
oh man, oh man, I don't know.
I'm
Yeah, I
going
mean, if
I'm
you had
going
to
one
put,
two Napoli. Same result as the Serie A game. 1-2 Napoli. I think Milan
I
lays a
mean,
goal in for sure, but I think we come out with a win. And at the Maradona, we mentally prepare ourselves that we can afford a tie, but also we're going for the win, obviously. But at least we're a lot more comfortable knowing, we came out of there with a win. We can play our typical football, a little more fast paced, blah blah blah, without being too worrisome. Because let me tell you, UCL is a different beast. All these players going to be shaky. You know what I mean? Like we're all going to be a little gritty, a little dirty. It's going to be different. This is not a regular Serie A game. Like I'm saying, like I'm trying to tell people, this 4-0 game, it's already in the past, right? Just like with Napoli beating five or Juve 5-1. I already forgot about that. It's already in the past. Like it's time to move on already because this next game is not going to be the same. I done said that 20 times already this episode, but trying to tell you guys.
if you put a gun to my head and made me predict and like my life depended
Oh, if
on
you put
my
a gun to my
prediction
head, I'm
being
saying a
right.
tie. I'm saying a tie. I'm just trying to be
Yeah, me
optimistic.
too.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I'm thinking a 1-1 tie is the safest prediction just because I think there is a good chance that Spalletti's not gonna be super aggressive and maybe rely on the long ball with Victor, but I could be wrong. I mean, I could be
Yeah, we don't
wrong.
know
I
what's
mean,
gonna happen.
Spalletti has proved pretty much in every game that he does not wanna go away from their free flowing, find the space, attack
That's what I'm saying.
the
He's
empty
unpredictable.
space,
Whenever he's unpredictable is when he is best. Like whenever our whole
Yeah.
team is best, and when we switch it up, especially during the game, man, I love that shit.
All right, Monty. Well, let's start talking about in the next segment. Let's just talk a little bit about where Napoli sits in the table right now, what other teams are doing, and to try to get everybody to chill out a little bit about this loss because it doesn't really make a big difference on the Scudetto.
Correct.